Button press.
It's live.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Living World of Darkness, Mage the Resurgence. And today we find ourselves in the Chantry of New York City. It is one evening. Jack is going to be trying to do something nice. He is trying to cook before Sylph gets home, or Sylph gets the Chantry from work. It is not going well. He's consulting a cookbook on how to make something fairly basic, like spaghetti bolognese. He has already cut his thumb whilst chopping an onion. It's not going well.
Shit, Jack, you're cooking for us? That's nice rice, man. This is the best rice I've ever seen.
Dude, it's not rice. He runs over to the cookbook. Spaghetti.
Well, this is the best spaghetti I've ever seen. Like, you kind of realize he doesn't want to say shit, I fucked up, and he doesn't want to make it I don't want to make him feel bad. He's doing something nice. This is very cool, spaghetti, Jack. Yeah, but Eamon is among the worst liars ever. So yeah, he lies. This is not the best spaghetti ever. It's cool.
You know what? Just to add to the confusion, Lena will come into the kitchen with a fire extinguisher and says, "Guys, I think there's a fire somewhere."
There's not a fire. It's under control.
Yeah, it's not something burning.
I need you to drop the fire extinguisher.
Fuck. And he
You
goes
sure
over.
you don't want me to just put it down as she looks at the fire extinguisher?
And fuck, and then he turns down the sauce, and fuck, it was burning on the bottom, and
Nice, right? No, spaghetti though. It looks cool. It even goes and taste it.
it's the spaghetti's overcooked. It's all mushy.
This is just seconds of overcooked, but it's cool.
Oh, fuck.
In all honesty, Jack, if it tastes the way it smells, I think we have now found a weapon against those squirrels that you guys are talking about.
Eamon was raising his eyebrows to Lena. It's like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. No. He's trying to do a nice thing.
Jack looks sad. I texted Sylv earlier and said I'd cook dinner, and
Well, then this is what you do. You go to a restaurant, you get us Chinese or Italian food, since you were trying to make spaghetti.
And then you say you did it.
And no, because
that's
honestly,
cheating.
you can easily taste that, it comes from a restaurant. You say it got destroyed, but you wanted to do something nice for her anyway, so you bought her dinner. That's what you're
This is
gonna
not
say.
a magic. You can cheat.
People
Jack
can
is
tell
looking
whether it comes from a takeaway
I also invited
or whether
Ken
something is
for the
home
dinner.
cooked.
I invited Ken for the dinner, by the way.
Really?
Sylph and Ken show up at the same time.
Yeah. I think at best at this point, before Jack has an opportunity to throw it out and make a decision.
If Kenji is there, the two of them can sort of show up at the door at the same time. And Sylph will just kind of be like, "Oh, hi. Found your way back."
I did.
Okay. Well, she'll open the door, and gesture for him to go in first, because she's probably sees it as a bit more her house than his at this point.
The smell of burnt garlic and onion comes from the kitchen.
He will nod and begin moving through the threshold. So he seems to be carrying a small messenger bag with him compared to what he had yesterday.
So winces just a little, quickly schools it under control, and I can roll that because she actually is really good manipulation sub. But there's no point, I don't think, at this point. And she walks in there trying, maintaining a pretty normal sort of face.
There's Jack. He's made a mess. He has a bandage on one finger. Lena is holding a fire extinguisher.
So just kind of walks up to Jack. She's like, "Are you okay?" You can get his hand.
I've discovered something. I'm not a good cook.
Hmm, that must be disappointing.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure
Tried
it's
to do
fine.
spaghetti bolognese. If you want to try it, I don't know. Try it.
Sure. As she has her most game face on because the smell's not that great. And good food
Spaghetti.
smells
Lena looks
good.
like she's about to interrupt.
The spaghetti is
But she doesn't do
overcooked.
anything.
The sauce is bitter. It's just not good. Just not good at all. It's bitter
She's
and too
going
watery.
to make us, but she's still going to try it though.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter. She's still going to do it anyway. She'll just, she'll put some noodles in there, and yeah, some of the sauce on or whatever. And yeah, I'm gonna. It's probably fair that I really should roll now.
Genji will point to the redhead and go, "You must be that girl that jacked me yesterday."
Oh shit! You forget.
That what?
Said,
Well-
you must. I'm hoping you're the real one and not the one that put me
Ev-
inside a tree.
Everyone, actually, arms. And Jack will roll his sleeve up. How many successes did Sylph get on pretending to like Jack's cooking?
Just one. It didn't. I got a couple of ones that
Oh.
weren't very convincing. But she is
You know
still. She is gamely eating it. She takes a bite and she just chews and swallows.
Oh no, there's no chewing required here. Because this is saying
Well, she's going to chew anyway because it looks funny if you just swallow it.
Christy, where did you roll? You rolled.
Did I
in
roll the wrong
note.
place?
You rolled
Yeah,
in
I
the
Oh,
think
note.
so.
yes, I did. Well, you guys can still see what I rolled though, so I'll switch. But my bad.
I get 2 successes on perception empathy.
It's fine. You catch that she's keeping up a game face.
Look, it's terrible. I promise I won't cook again.
Did change it to something else.
Especially Italian food.
She just looks at her. She's like, "I could just teach you. There's no reason you
Okay.
should give up on something if you think you're any good. If you don't think you're good."
Beth, Melina, I'm sorry. I understand the confusion that you're having right now. We kind of have bad news for you.
Has everyone got their arms bared, by the way? So we can see the golden marks.
Yeah, Kenji.
Lena does not because she has no idea why.
Sylve doesn't, but she will after she looks up and realizes that everyone else does.
Yeah. So the reason for this is there's a copy of you walking about. It mugged poor Ken here.
Right. She still holds the fire extinguisher.
You know when you
And like the only thing she can say after a while, it's like, well, that must be a poor copy then, because if I had mugged him, he wouldn't have realized it.
that's
Well,
called
the mugging
pickpocketing, Lena.
That is understandable, but yeah, there was a copy of you. Because I think they put your head into the tree, or like you put your head into the tree when the mojo happened. So they copied you, it seems.
Does it strike anybody else as one of the weirdest ways possible to do something? Put your head in the tree.
It is the demented child of the
Pointing
knowledge
out that I
seeker.
did not do that voluntarily.
I don't think
Doesn't
that
matter.
matters.
It got what it wanted. It read your mind and could make a copy of you.
Now I
I'm
say,
sorry. I know it's a gigantic pain and we gotta figure out what to do about it. Obviously, we can't let it run around.
This is why we're showing the marks, so we know it's the real us. So, if you don't mind, please.
Sure, Lena will, at that point drop the fire extinguisher, and she's just gonna drop it. So there's a loud clunk as it hits the ground, and she brusquely rolls up her sleeve and shows it there.
Thank you.
this isn't meant to be like weird. You seem a bit angry about it, but yeah.
Oh
Mhm.
no, of course, because you would not be angry if there was something running around that looks exactly like you.
There's also another can. Can Lena, Lena can.
It's apparently one of us too, as you can tell by the lovely mark on his mouth.
You're not the new kid anymore. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Lena. And Ken. For joining us. I mean, kind of.
Actually, I
Sort of.
think-
Yay.
I know that you still want to be in your house, but like you're kind of sort of with us, so.
Alright, so I guess the thing is, what do we do now? I mean, we can track them down, follow them.
I say we get ready and then enter that place that Lena found. There was something, a door that she unlocked that was going deeper. We were not going to find anything if these are like the servants doesn't have any information. We need someone to tell us, or we need to find something. If everything is literally keeping information from us, I think all of us has read things as best as they can. Maybe it is time for getting ready and hitting this thing.
We know the tree is behind or part of the demented children of the knowledge seeker.
It's a tree. Can we just... We know where the roots are. Can we just burn it?
Maybe.
I mean, I think there's many places we didn't check. Why not check them? Like when I say let's hit it, I basically wherever we go, we see monsters and those people who attack us. I just assume that we will see those things again.
That's fair. But
Lena
if we
can sneak, you can fight, I can do things, Sylvana can do things. Let's prepare, like we always say, and go in. I don't
Yeah.
think we're gonna find a lot of things if we just find ourselves at outside. I don't know, like this is me, and I can't be wrong, and I am wrong because it is gonna get somebody hurt or
There's
die.
oth-
Make us. It has a possibility of someone dying.
there's other sources of out there, other leads as well. One is obviously the
If
drug. We know
I was
that.
gonna say, I had an idea actually. Is if the tree's one of the pillars, then what is... Like, we had two other pillars. Is it possibly
The-
connected only because that whole drug thing is another pillar?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't
The-
think that I
The
don't know if the
drugs were
tree
very
is
weird.
because there's also something else. Something I saw when me and Sylv were in the Umbra. That yeah,
The video game people.
firstly, there's the video game people, but there's two things. Firstly, there's people who are inhabiting the spirit world, and they are going in and they are hunting people coming from the real world into the spirit world. They think they're just in some kind of MMO game. They're hunting the spirits. Cavan has told me from the voices in the earth spirits, what he's heard is this is being used by the same sentience that is behind the pillars themselves. It's using it to clear out things on the other side of the gauntlet to prepare the ground. I think also the very essence that separates this world and the spirit world is being injected into things. I think things like Jenny, almost a corrupted version of the spiritual war between worlds.
Or that thing
It's
we
also-
saw the other day.
Yeah, the thing I was talking to the spider about.
We were also, given these drinks by the gang's gangsters. Those gangsters that is connected to my family, and
Mhm.
I don't know. Like, there's a lot of connections that we kind of go in and like come back. If you know what I mean. Like you're trying to see things from outside, and maybe this is me being frustrated. The situation that I don't understand any of it, but I feel like we're just checking from the outside and trying to make sense. And maybe entering things would make sense this time and give us some answers because we don't have any answers.
I
No.
would like to give my opinion on that
Mhm.
because we saw what happened when we went inside something and it didn't plan it well.
Yeah.
I have no objection to doing it if we need to, but we cannot go in there without a plan, without protection.
That's why I say like we need to prepare.
Squad up, as it were. Armor up. We go in there. We are protected. We are warded. And we
And
can
we have
actually do
end
what we need
goals,
to do.
specific end goals that we're trying to work towards.
Destroy the tree. Retrieve as much information as we can. Although some of it is going to be a bit of what I understand is called, in military parlance, wet work.
Like I kind of want to ask this question. So, like, what's your end goal? Like, do you consider finding information by going that route? Consider the end goal for that thing you want to
Yes,
do. Okay,
if that is
then
our
yeah,
end goal. Then we might consider then we would try to avoid fighting as much as possible. It tells me more about what we need to know what's going
I can try to make us all invisible.
I can hide us effectively. He's going to point at some bowls. In fact,
Mhm.
no, they're not here. Like, I can hide us. I have gifts from Cavan. And as I say, I expect a certain amount of. If we're going into the bowels of the tree, there are corrupt things there, and I imagine they will not want us to burn the tree.
I know I tended to sign up for a lot of things I didn't want to sign up for, but fighting monsters was not on the top of the list.
If you don't want to be part of this group, that is your decision. But unfortunately, this is not a war that you volunteer for. It is more or less one of conscription.
You can
If
say
you
that
wish to,
like you're not involved, but look at your arm, man. You are involved.
I'm afraid that if you don't want to get involved in the source of mystical power, you can try and sit out of it. You can walk out the door and say goodbye, and maybe we'll meet for a beer sometime. But
think of it differently. It's not about going in and killing monsters at this point. We need information. I mean, and the fighting is would simply be like the side
Defending
effect of
yourself.
that.
do we not want to try and destroy the tree as well?
Yeah, but if we're going in there to look for information, wouldn't be our goal at the time, would it?
We
We
can
don't
have two
know.
goals going in there.
One
We
of the
could.
things I want to say, Silv, is that we don't know if the tree is, how do I say, sentient. Is like if we burn the tree, if we just like pass the tree and not burn it, because literally, Jack, the tree is you enter and you see the tree. It's literally so like Lena just entered from that phone booth, and then she just
Mhm.
run a bit, and then like she reached the tree, and after some time there was another road. So like we know where the tree is, and a tree burning the tree would be very easy. I can even just burn the tree from right here where I stand. I checked the
Dude,
tree
You-
before.
seriously. I know that you're like a bit full of yourself, but that's bullshit. If this is one of those so-called quote unquote pillars thingies, then that thing is more powerful than you are. And I didn't find the tree.
I,
The tree dragged me there, and it was a root. It wasn't the entire tree. You know how far roots go?
I, yeah,
Wait, it wasn't a tree?
I'm pretty sure this is going to be more complicated than it appears if our objective is destroy
Oh,
the tree. And
yeah.
also,
Now I understand. Okay. And Eamon kind of ignores her rude attitude.
if yeah, I'm pretty sure even if it's just if it is destroy the tree, which ultimately is something that we need to do at some point anyway,
Hmm.
you know, then I'm pretty sure it's going to be harder than
Yeah. Now, yeah, I can destroy the
it's.
root of the tree, not the tree itself. You're right.
But if we go in there to destroy, kill the tree and get the information, if we can agree that goal, then we can prepare for it and ultimately can
Well,
say
we should assume that there are going to be plenty of squirrels involved.
exactly. I imagine that we will be resisted. We need to be prepared for this. Just as much as part of the plan is preparation. I'll implore the
So
spirits.
Ken,
I'll bring spirit allies,
you're joining, or
amongst other things.
that?
Uh, since as he kind of shows off his arm, like he said, I've been scripted, and they're probably going to keep looking for me, or at least keep using my likeness. I really don't have much of an option.
Get yourself a set of carving knives to start throwing about.
Um,
You coming, Lena?
Um,
You owe it.
No, he said like, "Are you coming, Lena?"
Yeah, I know. And Jax turned to Lena and said, "You owe it."
I don't owe shit.
I meant you owe the tree.
the tree screwed you.
I just don't
Screw it right
think
back.
that you guys. I think you're still making it sound way too easy. Just prepare ourselves and go in. No, we need
No, it's
information
never
first.
easy.
How about the other pillars? No, never mind.
L-
You guys go.
If you don't want to be Lena, I agree that in
It-
no, Lena, please listen without interrupting. More information would be great. If we can find things about the other pillars, we do have other leads. We can follow them in the meantime individually. If we want to hit the tree, if we know where the tree is, we never knew where it was before. We can do that.
We
We
still
can-
don't.
We know where a route is. That's infinitely more than we ever had before.
Who says the roots don't move around? How do you know? It's magic, right? Look, I understand, and I'm more than happy to listen to you guys without like interrupting you, if you would do me the same courtesy, which you don't.
Yeah, go
Lena,
on.
no offense, but everything you said just now was just this huge attitude towards us. And I have no problem with you giving us your opinion. I would like to hear your opinion. But I would ask if you could tone the attitude down a little. I get that you're frustrated. Believe me, I get it. But just tell us what you think. You don't have to be argumentative about it.
Lena sighs and just for a moment silence, and then says, "It's not about just facing that tree. On like you said, there's more. There are squirrels. There's obviously there's like a gang involved. So we need to look at our resources, and we need to bring the battle to them on several fronts, not just like us physically going to the tree. I get that that might be necessary at some point, but we need to look at a bigger picture because they have a bigger picture. We need to find like adversaries against the squirrels. We need to find adversaries against the gang. We need to find like the tree. We need to find the weaknesses. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, okay, you got the last part. But the thing is, it's not just us. We need to bring an army because they bring an army.
I can do that.
And even if the 5 of us, oh, okay, well then why don't you and Eamon defeat them on your own? Because apparently
Lena,
Eamon can set the tree
attitude.
on fire and you can bring an army.
I mean,
Lena,
you can
you're
stop being
angry,
jealous.
and please stop the attitude, okay?
You can stop
We're
being jealous.
listening to you.
No, I don't
Responding
think
to
that.
your suggestion, Lena. Everyone here is being courteous. Do everyone the decency likewise. If you believe it's going to be hard to bring an army, but it is absolutely something that I can do. I say an army, I can bring spirit allies.
Actually, I think I might be able to drum up some people to help.
Excellent.
I kind of know some Benedetti, you know.
Awesome. The point is, there are the 6 of us. Us and Claudia. We can bring spirits, we can bring Benedetti. That's great. To hit this tree. This may not be the only thing we have to hit, though, in the coming months. I imagine there'll be more
The
than
tree is
this is all
the tree is
driven.
definitely not okay with God's design. I mean, it would not be hard to get the Benedetti.
The tree is evil and must be destroyed regardless. But the demented children of the Knowledge Seeker are simultaneously many in one. I suspect the tree will not be the entire end, but hopefully there'll be more in the caves. There are other leads that we can follow broadly individually or in small groups. Laid out, I can follow the spiritual side. If anyone can do anything more to locate the people to look into the drug issue, then that's fantastic. We found out the link between, last time you did, ultimately there's a problem, but we found out the link between the squirrels and the tree to a degree. Possibly more needs to be chased up with the gang and exactly where the drugs are coming from. Another sustained attack on a drug distribution location is maybe not a bad idea. Once again, if we prepare,
All right, so
we're organized.
if what Lena's saying is that we need more information, and I certainly would not argue that.
I am curious how
I
we
mean-
guys will find more information where all the knowledge we have is basically the big targets that we have.
It's
Basically,
not
they're big
though.
targets.
Hey,
We don't have
Eamon.
small targets.
No, we have some other leads that could lead to something. But you're right; they will likely lead to big targets as well.
I'm just saying it wouldn't hurt for us to take a few days or whatever and think about it and try to really put our heads to it.
Mm-hmm. But I think the principle of wanting all the information in the world will be brilliant. We need to know where we're going to get it from. I'm not opposed to getting more information. I think that's probably a good idea. If this is a route and we can find the main trunk of the tree, that's brilliant. But do we know how we can even start?
I'm wondering if, the tree was always protected before when I tried to search for it.
Mhm.
I knew vaguely the area it was in, but that's it. Now we have a route. I'm wondering if we might, as she looks to Eamon, I wonder if we might be able to follow the roots to the source.
Doable. Claudia, I have seen Claudia do some very powerful stuff in the past. Maybe she can do those and help us with them as well. It is, imagine like a flask of thing, that you throw and it just fucks shit up.
Think
It's very dangerous. I'm not sure if she is willing to do, and don't tell her that I said that she's capable of doing this because there's some bad things happened in the past
I,
because of those things.
I think if we're going to make this hit, as many of us we can. I'm not saying just the 5 of us, or definitely not just the 2 of us. If we want to go and perform a
That was
raid,
never the intention.
yeah, against something protected, let's spend every resource we can to hit it as hard as we can. Especially ones that we can easily renew.
Ken, you're silent.
Yo, man, I'm like you guys said, I'm a new guy, and there's obviously some tension between you, so I thought it'd be best to be out the way.
You have no, quite the contrary. Let's say there's some tension. You're not part of that tension. Your input will be appreciated.
New set of eyes as she looks to Lena, both Lena and Kenji. New set of eyes might be able to tell everything.
If let's just say, if we're referring to these things as pillars on a very general basis, I'm going to use these words. These things are high entities. I think one word I remember seeing in a book is like incarnas or something like that. They're like basically a large chunk of some type of concept or God, or even God, possibly. Which typically means, though they are part of a bigger piece, they are still a piece. So their power will be limited not only by their own physical and spiritual nature, but just the capacity that they have.
Each
Uh,
pillar.
I was going to say is right now these, I'm just going to use the word again, dire squirrels. What have you seen them do?
Blood sacrifice, tearing people apart, forcing people's heads into evil trees so they can
Now,
be cloned.
can they actually overpower a man like 1 to 1?
Not 1 to 1, they work in swarms of hundreds.
But
They're
so that
not
mean
giant,
I'm not saying that.
there's
I'm just
just
saying if
lots of
they're
them.
super powered in a sense,
There are certain superpowered ones, giant squirrel ogres.
then
They can overpower a man 1 to 1.
then they're still squirrels. So that is an advantage that we have. S- Many numbers are not. Maybe not the typical nature that we can obviously easily bribe them with food or anything, but they are not resilient. They're small. Unless they can get a physical hold on you, they can't really do much of anything. It's not like these guys have like poison darts, right?
I don't
No,
think they have poison darts. Yeah.
Then I, this is just my suggestion as a possible way to defend against just merely a swarm of tiny bodies is making some type of barrier, whether it's physical or spiritual, that might keep them out. Because in the end, if they can't get past it, they can't touch us.
that was what we tried to do before. We can do that when we're defending somewhere. It is more complex when attacking somewhere.
Why not use it like a riot shield? We don't have anything that can move with us.
You can work on something. Sylv, could you talk to Solomon about what he did?
I am waiting for his time right now. Oh, see, I need Robbie.
No, that's fine. What I can tell you in terms of them being part of a greater whole, they're not part of a god form. They are the 3 pillars make up the throne of the sage, apparently. They're all being controlled by this sage figure, and the spirits are terrified of it. Refuse to even really say. Only Cabin said the word. None of the other spirits will say it. There is an intelligence behind all 3 of them.
Then, if this thing is such a boogeyman, then I would agree possibly what Eamon's statement is. Or at least going on through Eamon's statement, maybe we should start going with figuring out smaller targets. If this gang is connected to one of these pillars, and if their number is limited, can't we just overpower them? And not necessarily kill them or destroy them, but just more or less disrupt their operations.
The gang is easy enough. I don't think that would be too hard, honestly, if we put our
No.
minds to it. They're honestly, I think they're just minions.
Well, unless these
And
guys,
I'm not sure they even know the whole story.
then I would say, unless these guys are extremists, I'm going to use that word, they're going to keep seeing the minions so they run out.
I think they don't care about them, but I don't know. But that would involve massacring a large gang of criminals, which is something that I don't really want to start doing.
Well, we don't have to kill them. We're magic, so just knock them unconscious.
Just
And what's
keep
gonna
them
happen
all
when they wake up?
unconscious and then just what? Keep them all tied up in the cellar indefinitely.
Well, that's basically what they do with typical prisoners of war. Unless
I
they
would
take
really
over.
rather not keep. I'd really rather not keep a whole bunch of like knocked out gangsters, like gang people, like just buried in our basement. It's not really my favorite homey sort of thing.
Yeah. We use the basement.
We can't just make like a
Some
pocket.
also they
dimension or
would
something?
see things down there. The mole people hang out down there sometimes.
Making a pocket dimension is an act of incredible power, well beyond any of us.
Okay, then. I'm thinking too big then.
Maybe I am thinking too stupid, too much like a normal human. But if we gather evidence that these people belong to a gang and that they're doing this and this and this illegally, can't we just like pop them over to the police once we've incapacitated like the potential magical force behind it and just hand them over to the cops?
I
I mean, if
agree.
they're
There's-
really just minions, they don't have anything special.
I agree that getting the police involved to tackle the gang, if we can get evidence against them, is a good idea. We tried to do that before, and that building guard bribed the receptionist, bribed the police, and then went to go and talk to the person in the blacked out limousine, who I believe is an important part of this. Though that's not a
Mhm.
lead we can chase. But I think once we've eliminated the magical force behind it all, I suspect the gang will stop being a problem. But doing the right thing is never a bad plan. And if we can get the police to help us in acting against the gang, that'd be fantastic. But I
Yeah.
think it's
And she'll look at Lena. There was at least definitely some protection up for their leader, that woman.
but what I think is important is to not lose track of the gang. It's not lose track that the gang is not what's truly important, but what they're being manipulated by. Do we all
Right.
agree?
I don't disagree with that, but can't always. It's hard to grab a shadow. You only grab the thing that makes it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get you, but we gotta start somewhere, and I agree with New Kid here. Like, I'm not saying that, ultimately at this point there's no point in letting them get arrested because they will be busted out somehow. But if we can already like have something prepared so that the moment there's like the opportunity they can be put in jail, I think that's useful. Like, we need to build a plan that has contingency plans on contingency plans and has multiple facets and multiple allies and even different layers of fucking reality involved in it, apparently. So that's just gonna take time. This is not done tomorrow.
I didn't think this was going to be done tomorrow. Nor do I think the tree is the solution to all our problems. I'll be totally frank. I do think hitting the tree is still a good idea, but I think it is just stage one of many, and I do think it will be hard. there are other leads to follow, but I suspect maybe the gang is one. But how to follow it most effectively is something I'm struggling with, short of another active attack on one of their packing locations.
Maybe another
I
gang.
think maybe the thing is, as I say, I think directly going after the gang, locking them up, starting a gang war, it maybe chokes off the supply of this drug onto the street, but let us not forget, this is something that they are trying to distribute, not something that they are trying to make a profit of, probably. They're distributing something of magical power. Would maybe choke off the number of people being infected with that substance, which is probably no bad thing.
I never got shot. I'm not interested in getting shot.
I think that may just be a risk we're going to have to take. As I say, if we're warded, prepared, protected, then
I mean, do we know what they want? Like, what does the tree want or the squirrel want? Like, obviously world domination, but like,
so what we know the tree wants, I say it is the demented children of the knowledge seeker. We know that the tree, apparently, from the previous conversation we had with squirrels, is it seeks to learn. It seeks to learn by sucking knowledge out of people's brains after it sticks the head into the tree. As for the bigger picture, which, as I say, let us not forget that the tree is just at the most a third of a greater design. The three pillars are the throne of the sage. That is what the prophecy said, and what the spirits are saying seems to verify that. It is one of four thrones which will stand above the kingdom of beauty and reclaim it for the four gods who once were men. Now, I understand that bit about as well as you do. But there is definitely,
I
as I
mean,
say, some greater intelligence guiding this.
you say four gods that once were men?
The sage, or the throne of the sage, is one of the four thrones. Yes, of the four gods that once were men.
I
Gods that
mean,
were once a
I guess
man.
that makes sense, right?
Say, beings of incredible power.
Eamon looks at Sylv and Lena says that makes sense. And he deliberately said gods that was once a man.
Sylph's first thought of that was Jesus.
Yeah.
So, one of the books of the library spoke about something like ascension, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't really get what it means, but I guess something like that.
I think let's not lose track of, say, the immediate threat, which we have some concrete information of, is the sage. The sage manipulating the pillars. The spirits are all talking of the sage, not these four gods that once were men. As for what ascension is, it is the principle, the end goal of every mage, to ascend. I don't quite understand what it means. I think no one truly does, and I think everyone has their own definition of it. Enlightenment.
Well, the four gods that were once men, then, in context, could mean archmages.
They could potentially be full. The sage could be an archmage, yes.
Not
The
that
s-
I don't dislike this higher level of thinking, but maybe we should try to make this problem small before we go big first.
I think understanding that there's a great intelligence behind it is no bad thing, but you do eat a whale one bite at a time.
I agree with you, but if this thing is so dangerous, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have a philosophical or metaphysical debate about its truest intentions, but I do agree partially on Eamon's idea of maybe we should do something about it now, on top of Liam's idea of preparation. And definitely for me, I can't do things cold. I have to prepare. My magic
We-
doesn't work on spontaneity, at least not well. But there's
We
such
are all in that position. Preparation is important for all of us.
After some time, you basically do things in a way where it becomes easier for you to do it faster. You learn
You
the
will,
magic.
yeah.
You create spells.
Technically, hermetic doesn't create spells, but yeah, they learn them.
Yeah.
So maybe we should do this. We got goals. There's a tree. There's these squirrels. Divide in teams. People who think they can deal with just a typical gang member should be on that team. People who want to deal with the squirrels and the tree should be on that team.
There are 6 of us. There's not a huge resources to divide into teams. And ultimately, even, as I say, the gang, and this is my point that I'm trying to make, I don't see the point of going after the gang. I think it is dangerous, and I think unless we are going into one of their drug operations to find more information in there, I don't see what it accomplishes.
No, are we really that sure that they're that ignorant? Surely somebody knows something.
One of their leader didn't do anything.
And if we can confirm that they don't know anything, then I would have to agree. And we just
Do-
focus on the tree then.
Once again, Lena, do you agree with that? If the leader doesn't know anything, then
Hmm.
I'm not against stopping bad people, but I live in New York most of my life. The police do their work very slowly. Even if we gave them heads or even captured people, it could be months before they do anything about it. Especially if this is a new crime. That means they don't have a lot of things that basically increase their threat level.
Lena, what are your thoughts?
You guys do you. You obviously all know best.
This is about knowing best. Also, we're all out of our depths right now. If you're
Lena-
scared, be scared, but tell us about it.
Lena, with respect, we're trying to include you in this. We're trying to have a discussion. Ultimately, sometimes you get what you want in a group discussion, and sometimes you don't. But as Silver said, if you want to be part of this, you please drop the attitude.
We have told her 10 times.
Guys, let's not turn this into some sort of a lesson. She's a grown woman. She knows.
I'm trying to seek her, with respect, Silver, I'm trying to seek her input on an actual problem.
I know. I know. You have a unique point of view to offer, and that's why we're asking.
Lena, I think that you kind of want to go after this gang because there's something that you want to earn out of them.
Yeah, I'm just in it for the money. You totally saw right through me.
Okay.
What did she say? You're totally right?
I'm just in it for the money.
You're just in it for the money.
No.
Yeah.
In the end, she said something I couldn't hear.
Oh, she said you totally saw right through me.
Ah, okay.
AKA,
Thank you.
yeah, you totally got it.
Well,
I don't know. You just want to keep going after this gang. I feel like I kind of want to go after the gang. There's a different reason why I want to do it. You just keep bringing them up and trying to do different things. You
I
want to
think it's yeah. So we'll look at Lena and be like, correct me if I'm wrong, but is it because that they're at a comfortable level for you?
Look, I don't know much about the other shits.
We're in a bit of a baptism of fire situation, I'm afraid. I'll be totally honest.
And I'm not trying to go after them constantly. It's just that I think, and I keep saying that, and you guys already said, no, we're not going to do that. I think we need to come up with multiple layers in a plan that doesn't just attack the spiritual, but also targets the mundane. And I don't care whether those are lawyers, a gang, or, I don't know, the bus driver.
With Lena, with respect, we're not saying we just hit the spiritual level. I've not even discussed doing anything on the other side at all in this whole conversation. The tree is not spiritual. The tree is physical. It is in the real world. It's a real world problem.
I think personally that we could focus on the things we can do now with relative safety and use those to try to get more information. And she'll look at Jack at this point, and she'll be like for example, what I mentioned about maybe Jack and I trying, not Jack and I, about Eamon and I trying to track down where these, where these guys are coming from in the shadow, in the spirit world. We might be able to track down, follow the magic.
If you can.
We
Yes.
can try and find the source, then that would be like the important thing. It's not them that's the issue. They're probably innocents.
Mm-hmm. So think.
And if we can find that out, that might give us more information that we could try to dig through.
Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, if we can do that, I can happily take you over to the other side, and you can try and find the source of the magic. But I think my question is twofold, and that is, in fairness, part of a valid answer to one of them. Well, firstly, as I say, in fact, that's a lie, threefold. Firstly, and he's looking at Lena as he says this, and to say, bear in mind these are genuine questions. Firstly, what is the best case scenario of confronting the gang? And actually attacking and crippling the gang. What is the aim? What is the objective? Secondly, none of us know what we're doing here. To be honest, we're all out of our depth. I don't know what the masked hunters are. I don't know what I don't really know what the demented children of the knowledge seeker is. I just know that it's linked to the tree. I don't know what the meaning of the despair are either.
I didn't even.
I don't know who the sage is. I don't know what he wants. I don't know how he is working. None of us do. We're all confused.
I didn't even know there were masked guys.
The masked hunters.
Yeah.
We told you the three names
this
before,
is
haven't we? You've heard the prophecy because you've heard the prophecy in your intro scene. And yeah, those three names, the three pillars were named in your intro scene.
Mm-hmm. Are they the masked guys?
The masked hunters.
What was it again?
Masked hunters.
Hunters.
They are one of the three pillars. And sorry, and the last one.
But
sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt you, Lena.
No, go on.
We've learned to complete point 3, which the third is more information is a fantastic idea. Where do we get it?
Well, can we just start with gathering the info that we have so that, like you said before, everyone has the same info?
That is what this conversation is.
Yeah, but can we write it down somewhere so that, honestly, every time there's something new, sometimes some of us aren't there and they need to be caught up, which if we just have it I don't know, it on a book in here in the kitchen on the table. You can read it over your morning coffee or something like that. You know, Mage newspaper,
We can
Brooklyn
write down
edition,
everything we know.
Queens
That's
edition.
How about a bulletin board? How about a bulletin board? That seems to be a lot neater.
yeah. We
Yeah,
can all
and
write
it
down
also
everything we
can
know.
help us organize everything we know and put it like in the right perspective, so that not everything just comes at once and not everything comes through each other, so that at least we have things organized, because I think that will help at least placing the info in the right directions, which might give new insights. Like
We can-
ultimately we're trying to come up with the best idea.
We can write things down. That's not a problem.
I'll buy a bulletin board when I go out, like tomorrow. When I come back from work, I'll stop and get one. So those little push pins.
So what have we decided to do?
Get a bulletin board.
Oh,
Other
God.
than that,
Actually, Eamon, you and I are going to attempt to try to
I'm going
find
to
the source of the magic that's putting innocence into the spirit world.
I'll take you
I
to the
mean,
other side and
aren't
see if you
those
can
the
track it.
drugs?
The drugs have a spirit
No.
force. The drugs are.
That's a different thing.
Oh, okay.
I was
Why?
talking about the video
How do you
game
know?
guys.
Oh,
Yeah?
We have,
right.
we have video games.
Why wouldn't that be the same? But why wouldn't that be the same? We all said we felt. You said you felt your head was clearer. I had the feeling that my senses were sharper. It messed with our heads, and not in a way that those drinks we had in the bar that like they should do, and isn't like going to the spirit world or all about like lowering the gauntlet. Like it might be
Maybe, but the
involved.
difference,
Like you know,
but the difference that between what you're describing and what they were acting like they were in a video game. They were using all those kind of terms. I don't
yeah,
think that
because
you
they
need
didn't know
drugs
any
for
better.
that.
Yeah, they
I
don't
mean,
know.
if they were playing a video game and they were drinking and they had the same drinks that we had at that bar, then how would that not be possible?
It's something
I'm
that
just
we've
I think
saying,
got
it's
have
to
you
allow.
unlikely. That's
considered
all.
it?
Let's track
I
both
have not,
down.
but I mean, sure. I mean, if
See
they're
if they're
connected,
related.
great. If not, then okay.
If not, then we have answers to both things either way. In fairness, if we want to assemble an army, one of the first steps to doing that effectively from my end will be the need to stop the interlopers in the spirit world. They are slaughtering the spirits for sport.
If
In addition, in
I
assembling an
can't
army,
go there, but if you need help with that, then I wouldn't
you can.
mind.
You can.
He would get us there.
I could take us
He
all
has a
there.
way of doing it.
I could take us all to the other side. There is some other projects that I'm dealing with on the other side that are more personal. That will help us gain spiritual reinforcements. But exactly what these places look like in the Umbra, I can look into it. I can ask the spirits to look into it. But they are afraid. It could be even more dangerous. In the real world, they have to maintain an illusion of normalcy outside of their buildings. You can't house massive caged monsters in an alleyway. They have to be inside. The Umbra, they can do what they wish. So,
I was just hoping to learn a little bit more about this spirit stuff, especially because of all the red stuff. So I wouldn't mind helping out if with anything in that related.
Sure. Why not?
I'll be happy to teach you.
So we agreed on something.
To get a bulletin board, and we're going to track down some threats in the Umbra first. We're not going to hit the tree.
And you're going to and you're going to teach Lena. That's 3 things. 3 things we've all agreed upon.
Exactly.
Well,
Points. One thing that I just want to say: the 2 clones. What do we do with them?
well, what kind
Kill
of
them.
clones are they?
Clones of you and Lena,
Doesn't matter.
I
I will
created
not.
by the tree. They
I
are
will not
evil
have
clones.
No, I
someone
agree-
walking around in this city with my face.
I
on
agree
them.
with you guys. We can't let them walk. They're an abomination of. Yeah, they should not exist.
Well, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be quote unquote stored, but are they living entities? Are they just physical constructs? Or are they? Yeah, they could be equivalent to what homunculuses.
We don't know exactly what they're made of. Unfortunately, Ken, we have to work with limited knowledge. Yeah,
I mean, we can gather information. Let's gather information about them as well before we kill them.
I just don't
I-
like the idea of killing anything.
I'm afraid that you will have to kill some things before. You'll almost definitely have to kill some things over your course of being
Sometimes
a mage.
you're right, Jack, that he will have to kill some things, but these are living beings. Why we're killing them immediately? Let's do more research about them. Right?
How do you propose we research them, Eamon?
I don't know. We have many leads.
I'm not opposed to the idea. I just need something concrete.
Well, the only thing I can think of is us attempting to actually find them and follow them around. See if they give away any information about themselves.
Okay.
We can.
Other than that, I have no idea. Because if we're near enough, we might be able to look at them in different ways, see what they're made of, for example.
Yeah. That works.
So yeah, we're gonna find information about them first.
With respect, Lena was quite vehement in what she wants to do with hers. If they serve this evil force, we may be forced down that road. Not
I
that
agree with
learning-
Lena. That's what I want to do, but I also don't object to
sorry.
us finding out more about it first.
Sylv, please let me explain what I'm about to say. If we're quite likely to be going down that route anyway, for our own sanity, is learning that these things are living, thinking beings necessarily something we want to do?
I don't know. Knowing their nature would be nice to know, but it's not necessary. I just
Right.
well, I'll capture mine, and you guys can kill it. I just don't want to be part of that part.
Eamon, kind of. Oh, okay then.
Actually, I kind of object to that. Not that I think you should kill yourself, but I think that'd be a pretty big mental issue. But I do think that you need to take more than a passive, like plan about yours. This is personal, and you need to make a decision about it. You need to think about it
I'll
and be
capture
okay
it,
with
and
it.
somebody else can destroy the thing.
Yeah, I heard you.
Wow,
I don't
that's
mean that.
just plain out that's hypocrisy.
Hypocrite.
That's like, oh yeah, that. Sorry, I can't English anymore. But
No,
that's exactly what it is. Oh yeah, I understand to kill him, but I don't want to take guys do it so that I'm unblemished. That's fucking bullshit.
Do you hear me trying
Lena.
to be the holy one here? You're the one that's getting defensive about every single thing against you. I just met you today. I'm not trying to be a holy man. I'm just
If you
don't want
agree
to be
with
involved in
killing,
it.
help out.
I said
But
I'd
you
help out. I said
agreed
I would
that killing
capture
them is the
mine.
best option. So
I don't think
Lena,
Because you know
Lena,
what? I'd be
please.
fine just keeping
Wow.
it somewhere that will never hurt anybody.
Lena,
It doesn't matter
Ken,
to me.
please. Firstly, the idea of keeping these things somewhere they can't hurt anyone, once again, is a decidedly complicated issue. Lena, I understand 100% where you're coming from, and to a certain degree sympathize. If someone is going to pronounce the sentence, to quote Game of Thrones, they should swing the sword. However, this will likely be you. It will have all your mannerisms. It will look like you. It may even have your memories. Killing a clone of yourself must surely be a decidedly uncomfortable experience, and I will not begrudge someone passing the buck on that. However, if it comes to other things, and other things that are a dangerous threat that must be, unfortunately, killed to protect the world, or the spirits, or us, or anything, I do actually believe that all of us need to be willing to pull the trigger. It's not pleasant. It's not fun. It's not something we take joy in. It is a necessary evil. And if you're going to say that an evil should be performed, you should be willing to do it.
Well,
What do
I'm
you think,
telling you
Sil?
right now, I'm not killing anything out of any type of aggressive moment. If I'm gonna have to kill anything, it's got to be out of self-defense.
That's acceptable to me, at least.
Good luck with that.
Jack looks at Sylv. Those technocrats. We knew that was going to happen. That wasn't self-defense.
I never said I did things into self-defense. I said I understood where he was coming from on that.
Ken, I am the most weirdest person. Actually, no, that would be weird. But I am the guy who will tell you this, which they probably want to tell you, and it is hard. You will have to kill someone in the future. No, like I think Jack said something similar, but you will face a choice where you either have to defend yourself, or sometimes some shit will need to get done, and you will have to get your hands dirty. As soon as you get better, as soon
Or
as you get better reality, you will be better about this.
Everybody has a choice.
or in defending somebody else. Yeah, but there's also not just defending yourself, but defending someone else.
Exactly.
And I get that, but I have the choice whether I can kill somebody or not. I had the very choice of being a living.
You do.
You do. You just have to accept that sometimes everyone in this room is going to believe you'll make the wrong choice. And it's a
And I
dangerous
will
and
deal with
selfish one.
If we agreed all about everything that we agreed on, we'd just be machines, now wouldn't we?
It is precisely the machines that need the killing. Ken, you are new at this, and I understand that we're not talking about this casually. We all agree it is unpleasant and horrible. And I understand that from where you're standing, this call seems somewhat unnecessary to casually talk about killing like this. And I sincerely hope to the bottom of my heart that you can go as long as possible till that moment comes when you do have to.
Well, you're not
Because
fucking soldiers or policemen over here. You're a priest, some lady
I am
off the
not a
street, a
priest.
realtor, and a college dropout. And you guys are just talking about killing these things, whatever
I
they
am-
may be.
I am not a priest.
I'm the heir of House Valerian.
He's not a priest, and yeah, you are the heir. Yes.
I am a shaman of the Kavadi.
This reality is a different one than what you have seen all your life. And I don't say this with heavy or easily. I did kill people in the past. Do I have hard time sleeping sometimes? Yeah, I do. But if it's not like I'm looking around to just murder people, according to contrary belief. But sometimes it is going to happen. Sometimes it's you or the other guy, and like to be honest, now you want to say like that like you don't want to do anything with the killing this thing. I was just being unproductive, like Lena, and trying to say that we should check if they're human or not. I actually don't give a fuck about if they're human. They need to die.
Wow. Well, you guys have fun discussing. Whatever.
Lena, please.
Yeah, Lena's gonna walk out.
Eamon,
I'm unproductive anyway,
she
so
did-
what does it matter?
you literally just made everything I said, defended everything I said against it, and then literally the same decision has been reached. And then the second you come about your clone, you literally said, "I just don't want anything." It wasn't about our collective good. It was about your vengeance. It was about you wanting this thing. You called him hypocrite. So are you. Now you can call me hypocritical as I have done, and I will accept it. But I played
I didn't
unproductive.
call him anything.
I played unproductive just to point out that you basically wanted to kill that thing because of your vengeance or whatever. Not because it was about common good. It was not about something we wanted to follow.
You
wanted
don't
to
know
kill
anything
that thing.
about me. You don't know
Come
nothing.
on. You
Shut
literally
up.
just defended it. You literally just
You're
defended
judging.
otherwise.
Eamon,
Can
you are completely
calm, guys.
over the line at this point. It is perfectly reasonable for someone to want to kill someone who did that to them. It is perfectly rational.
She didn't do anything. That clown didn't do anything. It just serves the wrong people. And I know it's going to die.
That clone is part of her soul. Her mind has been read, and it has been used to create a copy that has been used to corrupt from its various purpose. Surely, if you can hate anything, it is that. You accuse her of being unproductive. Now, I have, until hold his hand up, and with all respect, Lena, had some disagreements with Lena, and this is not about her being unproductive. She has actually been productive in this conversation. In this whole time, she has made points. Some of them, like all of us, some of her points are better than others. It's the same for everyone here. Do not dismiss her anger at a clone, at something like that, as unproductive. It is rational. She is not a hypocrite. She has not said,
Without Lena, we would not ever have actually found the roots of that tree at all.
No, I know that we wouldn't find the roots of the tree without Lena. I'm not saying Lena is useless. I am saying she was unproductive, and then she wanted to kill the clone out of sheer anger, which she defended against. We need plans for killing those clones.
we do need plans for killing those
And I
clones.
never disagreed with that.
You literally just said, "I
But
want that clone
honest-
dead, no matter what."
No.
Come
Yeah,
on.
I do want
You
it
did.
dead because I think it's not natural. That doesn't mean there shouldn't be a plan. I didn't disagree with you. You just presumed that.
She's
I
absolutely
didn't
right,
even
Eamon.
say a word and
No.
you even thought that.
No, you literally said
Eamon.
that. What?
She is right. She never said that there shouldn't be a plan. She said she wanted to kill it. She declared
She
her aim.
said
She
she
declared her
wanted to
goal.
kill it no matter what, and she said
Absolutely.
she said, "I want it dead no matter what."
Which means that she's
That
against
doesn't mean that there's
gathering-
no plan.
Which means
No.
she's against gathering information about
Okay.
its nature, which is fundamentally different from not agreeing a plan to kill it.
Lena, what are we gonna do if we just agreed that we're not gonna kill the clones?
Well, you need to have a damn good reason.
I
Look,
mean, she
you
points.
didn't even ask. You didn't even ask why. What my reasoning is. You, all of you, are just presuming that I'm angry at that thing, or presuming that I just want revenge. You're filling this in out of your own minds and your own heads and your own hearts.
I wasn't saying.
It
You
was
didn't
me,
even
it was not
ask.
them. It was
You
them.
are presuming things.
No, I
You
said
said the same thing. You went on about revenge, Amen,
It was me.
and that I was just gonna go forward with it.
It was me who said those things, not Sylvan Jack. Jack and
Oh,
Phil was
Jack
nothing
presumes
but
that I'm
nice
doing.
people.
Jack understands before you presume my intentions. Jack believes that if it had happened to him, that's why I'd want to do it. I understand why you're angry. You can be angry for any number of reasons. I'm not saying that your reason is the same as mine. I'm saying it's understandable. Lena,
But when you said that we needed to gather information, Amen, I kept quiet. I didn't even open up my mouth once. I let you decide. I let you describe things, and then we went on about how someone had decided that he would certainly not kill.
I never
So-
actually said, "Oh, see," he never meant to say, "Let's Pardon. He will say, "I said let's go in and find information. I said that we were just outside and we need to go get in. Now that is not what we're going to do, and it's fine. I will follow Jack and Sylv to many places. It doesn't matter to me that my plan is not followed.
Right.
But my point, what?
Eamon, Lena, we're trying to have a discussive discussion.
We already
Please just take a
decided.
breath.
We already decided what we're gonna do. We're gonna look at the.
I think we have at this point. I think a decision's been made, regardless of everything else. And Lena, I don't think I ever said anything about assuming you were angry or anything like that. So
Eamon,
if I did, I'm sorry, but I don't think I ever said anything like that.
if you owe me anything, Eamon, if you feel anything, then please, for me, just take 5 minutes. Go out and breathe.
He
I
nods.
think we have a plan.
He gets out and
There were at least 3 or 4 things that we agree on.
takes the deep breaths for 5 minutes because he does believe he owes a lot to Jack.
When Eamon has left, Jack will turn to Lena and say, Lena, I'm not saying your anger is not justified or anything like that. What I am saying is that being angry while trying to have this conversation does not lead to a helpful conversation where we can work out what's going forwards. Please just, can you likewise go out the front door? Just take a deep breath. Your input in here is valuable, and your opinion on the clones matters a lot. It matters more than, and I'm sure deep down, I don't know if Sylv agrees, to be fair. I feel that your view matters more than mine, matters more than Eamon's. It does not matter fair more than everyone's combined, I feel. But your word counts for a lot in that front.
Sylv nods. Yeah, Sylv nods. She just nods along. She agrees. She's just like, no, yeah, no. You're the one who has the clone out there, and you too, Ken. Like, you guys matter more than any of the other 3 of us, in my opinion, on that subject.
But as I say,
And actually, when you said, Lena, remember, do you not remember me saying that I agreed with you that it needed to die? I've said that at least twice.
No, I heard
Same.
you. I heard you.
I said,
Then I'd
Look.
appreciate if you didn't accuse me of things.
I was just angry, okay? He's just. Never mind.
he's
Doesn't
like
matter.
that.
It's okay. No, it's okay.
No, he's
Lena-
like that, but I have to adjust.
We all have to adjust.
But he's like
And like I
that.
said, he's getting worse, and this is why I asked him to leave the room. Okay?
We'll work on
Also-
him.
With respect, Lena, you're new, and I want you to be part of our group as much as any. You know, I want you to be a part of us. I owe
Not
Eamon my
everyone here
life.
thinks that. Yeah, I get it. You guys are a bunch. I get that.
No,
We've got history.
no.
And I hope that soon we can have some history with you.
Actually, I feel like we already do.
I
As she
think
looks at Lena and she's like, yesterday. That's the kind of thing that makes this sort of thing happen. And I'm glad that we were able to grab you out of there, even though you broke out of the mental thing first, I think.
I'll speak to Eamon about this. I promise you. And about his temper.
It's not gonna matter. It's fine. This is not something that you can solve, Jack. And you can try and you can ease things, but ultimately, this is between me and him and not between you and me and him. And we'll have to figure
It
this
doesn't-
out one way or another. And that's either going to be with blows or that's going to be with radio silence or with a huge fallout. I don't care. But this is not something that you should solve or that I would feel comfortable with you solving. I can deal with my own shit. And like, you and Eamon are not shit. Me and Eamon are shit. That's how it is. That's fine.
That's fair. And then I would ask, and with respect, regardless of what you say, I'll ask the same thing of him, that you go halfway to trying to at least have a productive relationship, even if it's not a friendly one. I will say the same to him. I will also say that his temper has not just caused problems for you.
To be fair, he's also had a rather awful few days.
He has had a rather awful few days. And that's why I'm going to wait for him to calm down about that before I talk to him about it.
It's fine. I'll talk to you guys later. Ken, was it? I guess it's a pleasure to meet you. Pretty sure you don't feel the same. See you guys.
Doesn't know you to judge as you're walking out.
As she walks out, the door opens and Eamon sees Lena in front of the door. He does presents with his hand that she can go before her.
I mean, sure, she will.
She does come back after. He does come back after some, after that. Outside is the same. Didn't change that much.
So what did you say?
He says outside is the same. It didn't change much, but this tea is good.
Well, you sound a little calmer.
So what are we doing now? Are we trying to solve the situation in the spirit world?
We're writing. I'm not right now. I've had a bad
I think
day.
right now we need to do.
Need some edible
Oh,
food.
sorry.
Tired right now and need some edible food. I can't do it today. But that's the next plan.
Why don't we let's just well, we can't order in, but we could go out and get something.
Exactly.
Bring it back for me.
Right
I
now,
don't feel like cooking right now either.
answer the bulletin. It's the bulletin board and some answers in the Umbra. And
Bulletin board has suddenly become super important.
let's find where the clones are.
That needs to be a priority, I think.
Agreed.
Well, this was a good talk, everybody. Well, I guess you'll call me when you need me. So Kenji begins
Or
to get
you
up.
can show up whenever you want to. It's not always like this.
Well, I'm not here to get in the way. I'm just going to follow the orders.
You're not in the way.
Well,
There's no leader here, dude. We always we have. This is not like. This is a consensus.
Well,
Was
I
the
have
correct
put
That's
in
why we
what
argued.
input I could, but I'm going to respect the fact that I am the youngest. I am the most ignorant here. I'm not going to allow my ignorance or my perspective get in the way until it is asked of me. I do this not as a sign of defiance to you, more as an act of submission to my station at this moment. I don't say this to think that I'm less than you guys.
Well, then,
I'm saying this as a fact of matter. You guys are aware of the situation of your own abilities. Not even talking about what these things are. I am not. I will just follow your lead. I will do what I can to not get in the way, but I will not compromise who I am to do so.
well then, just let me ask something of you. For one thing, you haven't had dinner, so would you be willing to at least stay after long enough for us to go pick up some food? And second of all, I would ask that you come here to practice what you could do, so that you can become more comfortable with it as well. Because that is something that would help all of us, not just you.
And when she says that, the messenger bag that's over Kenji's shoulder, he opens it and just brings down some, like ingots of metal onto the table. I prepared these just in case somebody was going to attack me today.
Good thinking. What do they do?
He puts his hand on it and says a word and does a particular gesture, touches the metal, And like the Terminator from Terminator 2, when he touches it, it becomes like a liquid, and he just pulls it out, and then he says another word, and it shapes into an object. In this case, it looks like a key.
Do you want to roll Arate?
Yes, I can.
And do you have matter 3?
No, I do not.
To reshape an object into another object is matter 3.
That is good to know.
Matter 2 is to change one substance into another substance.
Alrighty then. Nope, I can do that with my orb. I cannot do that with regular pieces of metal. So that is good to know. Because the orb is special. Then okay, then I'll just reshape that. Just that way I can still do the similar effect. He'll bring out his orb and the ignite to that metal and just begin adding it to the orb. That I can do.
Do you have to roll anything to use the wonder?
Not necessarily.
It should
but
have an Arate rating.
It does.
Then you need to roll the Arate to do any magic with it.
Okie dokie then. And I'll say there's no witnesses. The difficulty, I believe, was it
It's
5 or 4?
coincidental.
Coincidental.
You're reshaping something. It's 3, so it is 6, unless there's any other minuses that you know of in play.
Not that I know of.
It's level 3 wonder, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. And the ignite begins changing itself into what the orb is, and you will notice that there's because there's more mass of the orb now. It kind of looks like it puts more weight onto the table.
So is that a weapon or something?
Um,
Because you had just mentioned that this was if someone attacked you. So she's just like looking at this like,
well, sort of. I can just take pieces out of it and shape it into things. So I've done it before just to test out. Oh, it is really, really heavy. Sometimes when I load it up, I can, just make smaller balls, throw it. I've made knives before, darts. I've made a whip once, so that was hard to keep it that way. After a few moments, it became, rigid again. So then,
gotcha.
uh,
Well, if you know what you can do with that to defend yourself, then that's what matters. She still does look a little unsure about this because she's like looking at it like, I don't get it.
Yeah, Jack looked very skeptical.
well, I don't know if you guys play video games, but there's a series out there called Mass Effect. They don't use ammo anymore.
Heard of it.
Yeah, and that future science, they don't use ammo anymore. They literally just use raw materials, and the gun shapes the ammo from the materials. I'm basically doing the same thing, just with my mind and my hands.
Okay. It kind of looks like you're playing with metal Play-Doh.
Yeah, that's been kind of the plan.
My concern is the immediacy of the effect. Or rather, lack of. But it's your safety. However you wish to deal with it.
You would be safer here, man. Just saying.
No.
Jack opens his in fact his jacket will be hung up. Jack will go over to where his jacket's hung up. And will take out his axe. What it is it's like a sort of Neolithic, a Stone Age axe, and it's made of this beautiful blue stone. The whole thing is blue. It looks like a work of art, and it's quite sharp, but it is ultimately a Neolithic axe or a Stone Age axe. We all have ways of protecting ourselves.
Wait, did he go
So
to
it
the
looks-
to get there, or did he just make that appear in his hand?
Oh, it's from his jacket. He pulled it from his jacket.
Yeah,
How'd you do that?
it was given to me by a spirit,
No.
the
how'd you
Lady of the Lake,
jacket?
my totem.
So do you have like a bag of holding in there, or like I'm confused. How'd you fit it in your jacket pocket?
There's a big pocket.
It's not that big.
Yeah. It's not like a massive two-handed axe.
Oh, okay.
It's like a small little hatchet thing.
Okay, that's what I was
Yeah,
confused about. I'm
sorry,
thinking
yeah.
it was like a two-headed axe. Like, how'd you do that?
So
Yeah.
just kind of looks around and she's like, I don't actually have any weapons like that.
I don't know. And he kind of looks over to Eamon's like, from how you talk, it seems like you're the, you know, evocation wizard. So you can just make energy come from your hand or from something, right?
What's allocation wizard?
Evocation.
Evocation.
It's a
Amen.
D&D term.
Oh, okay.
Like, Jack
Amen.
will actually say that. We can have that conversation in character. Like, it's
Oh,
from
okay,
Dungeons
okay.
and Dragons.
Yeah, yeah, kinda. I'm This will sound very simple. I throw fireballs,
Yeah, that's what
electricity. I don't understand. What do you mean by the way you talk?
in the game, Dungeons and Dragons or just fantasy games in general, like spheres of magic, there's schools of magic. Evocation is forcing magic out of the air into a very immediate effect, like fireballs, or or like a barrier of light or fire, and things of that nature. I would be what you consider a transmutation mage. I change things, so I can't change physical living things. I can change physical things. So, like with my orb, I can make weapons out of the material by just adding more mass to it.
We
I
refer to that as the sphere of matter.
I also can, for example, change silver into gold. Not with the wand, though. I use alchemy for it.
So biggest problem that it seems like, as Jack is bringing up, my magic isn't very quick, and the best I've ever done of a really dramatic effect was a place was being condemned and no one was around, and I, got rid of part of the flooring by doing some circles and doing some words and make at least the structure of the thing become really thin like paper.
You
And
know the saying, you do seem like a man of culture.
If you
I can teach you a couple tricks if you have some things together. They I don't know if we see the world the same way, but the our things that we do seems a bit like the same. I also use high ritualistic magic, which takes time to do. Sometimes you just you just prepare it and then pull out things at the last moment to complete them.
I I haven't done anything like that. I have
then I
done
suggest you learn from Eamon,
yeah.
because in extreme situations, often people don't wait for you to prepare, unfortunately, before
Nah,
trying to shoot you.
I can totally see that, since these aren't these aren't these aren't cement floors and you know and wooden boards. These are people. They hit back. I've seen that movie.
Exactly. Anyway, I'm going to go get changed before we go out. I'll see you all later. I'm going to jump
Yeah, I'm
out.
gonna go change too. Yeah. She actually does go off to get changed as well. Because she's probably gonna go out and get the food with Jack.
Kenji begins looking at his orb and realizes as he picks it up and he kind of strains a bit. I should have thought about that.
But what?
As he rolls it over, you can see the evident weight because he put an iron ingot inside the orb. It's a lot heavier now. I'm not the strongest guy, so now I need to try to divide this into something else. I can try to just think back the shape what the ignet was and pull it right out, but
Do you do alchemy?
a little bit. It's not exactly. It's I follow some of the principles, but then I go with more. how you say, mental constructs, or not even say mental constructs. I try to keep the thought very real, and I try to gather as much information about the object I'm actually working with to the utmost degree. Then I use the stuff that allows me to change things to reinforce that idea, then make it into something actually in front of me. I
Eamon
can't.
nods. I try to understand. Not so well, but
Like,
yeah.
I can't manipulate things I don't understand. I know that for a fact. Cement is made out of different, very, very minor materials, so that's relatively easy to work with. This is a relatively pure iron ignet, so I know pretty much where everything's in it. But like if I went just to any random building without really tiring myself out, I couldn't just like change part of the brick into wood because I don't know exactly what they used. I assume that they're using just atypical materials for bricks, but if I don't know materials like Nightcrawler, if I don't know where I'm going, I can't use my magic right.
He nods. I need to find Lena and talk to her, so see you
You
later,
think
okay,
that's a good
Ken?
idea?
I always have the best ideas, Ken.
Okay.
He
Uh,
laughs.
We could,
Yeah, don't worry.
I was gonna say, if he's gonna leave, we can probably end the scene with just Ken in the kitchen and assume that Sylvan Jack will be coming back with food at some point.
I kind of want to do the thing with Sasuke if it's possible. It's not going to be long.
I'm
So
cool. We
even,
can also set a separate seat for that if you want. Like whatever you want.
I mean, if it's getting
Or
longer,
the
we
rest
can just
want.
be like, we can just set
Mm.
another one. But like, Eamon will try to find
Okay.
Lena in the house.
She's probably outside
Hmm.
smoking under a tree.
He does come near her, not slowly, and then he says, "It was a bit selfish and unthoughtful of me. I apologize."
Oh. Okay. Sure.
Well, hopefully you will have a good day. See you later. If there's anything you want to do, let me know.
Sure. Will do.
Eamon turns and leaves. And I think we end the scene there.
Yeah.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Daryl, I think you're ending this.